Welcome. This is a series of videos to inform the public regarding the truth of history entitled Lies About the Formation of the United States of America. This is lesson number 3, Winning the Independence, March 1, 1781 through April 25, 1783, written by the Union States Assembly historian, and the video is presented by Union States Assembly. This information can also be found on the Union States Assembly website at www.unionstatesassembly.org. We will be doing a brief introduction of some of the basic facts you have not been taught about the formation of the United States of America by the public and private fool systems, which is where Americans get brainwashed and are told lies. In this lesson, we will be looking at several documents, which are the Journals of the Continental Congress and the Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union. These documents can be found on our website as well as the Library of Congress. It is important to produce these documents in order to prove the truth of what Union States Assembly is presenting. Without such, this could be just another one of those internet speculation videos which many people believe is being true but provide no proof of such claims. Let's get started. Let us now examine the Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union. Article 1 states, "The style of this confederacy shall be," and in quotes, "the United States of America," with the capital T in the word "the," and end quotes. See the Journals of the Continental Congress, Volume 19, page 214, and the certified copy of the handwritten version on our website as well. Unfortunately, very few of you, if any, have ever been taught what this really says and what this really means. What the founders or framers created was a confederation or confederacy, and that its name is the United States of America with an uppercase T in the word "the." The word "the" is actually part of the name, and that is why all of it was put in quotes. Ever since the 1860s, Confederacy has taken a bad moniker, and most textbooks try to avoid this topic. Why? Simple. The controlling system that runs things today wants you to believe in lies they propagate because they can control you by controlling your sense of reality. If you were taught that there were 13 nations or states and they created a confederacy, as is the truth, then how did they become a singular nation? That never happened, and because of that, the controlling system has propagated dogma or myths for you to believe in order to control you so they won't have to explain the truth and how it is that they are in control and not the people. Remember, if you are controlled, you are not free, and that is what they do not want to teach you. Let us now examine Article 2, which states, "Each state retains its sovereignty, freedom, and independence in every power, jurisdiction, and right, which is not by this Confederation expressly delegated to the United States and Congress assembled." See the Journals of the Continental Congress, Volume 19, page 214, and the certified copy of the handwritten version on the Union States Assembly website. As was stated previously, each state is sovereign, and you can't have a sovereign state unless the people in that state are sovereign as well. Article 2 does not mention anything about a singular nation. It mentions a singular confederation, but a confederation is not a nation. Again, if you were taught there is a singular nation, then you were taught a big fat lie. The confederation consists of 13 nations, each sovereign and independent, even from each other. Note, I prefer not to use the word country because at the time of the Confederation, the number one definition of country was the land outside the city, as in countryside. The Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union is the law form of the Confederation, and the Union is perpetual. It is not the law form of each nation or state, as each nation or state has their unique law form. Congress is the governing body of the Confederation, of which each nation or state had equal representation, In other words, equality of suffrage. The Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union is also referred to as the Federal Constitution, being the law form of the Confederation or Confederacy that each nation or state had ratified and joined. Just to prove this once again for those who are still brainwashed and think the way the ruling system wants them to think, let's look at what transpired on August 20, 1781 in Congress. Congress, after reviewing the petitions submitted, declare, if they abide by the boundary limits, that Vermont be a sovereign and independent state by the name of State of Vermont. See the Journals of the Continental Congress, Volume 21, pages 886 through 888. How can Congress extend an offer to Vermont to join the Union as a free and independent state or nation if there was a singular nation? They can't. However, if the Confederation or Union is comprised of free, sovereign, and independent states or nations, then Congress can extend an offer. Why weren't you taught this? On October 19, 1781, Lord Cornwallis surrenders to George Washington, Count de Rochambeau, and Count de Grasse at Yorktown, Virginia, thereby effectively ending the war. This surrender, under the law of nations, is a conquest whereby the victor takes the sovereignty of the loser. In this case, the 13 American states or nations have gained their sovereignty from the King of Great Britain, also a sovereign, by defeating his forces on the field of battle. Just to reiterate the point made 2 paragraphs above, on January 28, 1782, Congress resolves to acknowledge Vermont as a free and independent state and accept them into the Union on equal footing as the 14th state, provided they accede to the Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union and the boundaries between New York and New Hampshire as specified. See the Journals of the Continental Congress, Volume 22, pages 58 through 60. Congress continues to work on a peace agreement they have been working on since 1778. While the ambassadors are negotiating the peace, Congress on August 20, 1782, reviews the history of each nation or state from its beginnings and settlements. If one gets a chance to read this entry in the Journals of the Continental Congress, it is quite fascinating. See the Journals of the Continental Congress, Volume 23, pages 471 through 524. This debate occurred because the United States of America was anticipating gaining land as a result of the war. All of the states' claims to this new land were reviewed in respect to each other, the Indian nations, Great Britain, France, Spain, and the Confederation, in order to determine appropriate boundaries. By the end of 1782, the Confederation has established treaties with Morocco, France, and with the representatives of the States General of the Dutch Republic. Among the nations that have publicly recognized the freedom and independence of the Confederation are Morocco and France, and with representatives of the States General of the Dutch Republic, later to be known as the Netherlands. In 1783, the nations of Spain, Denmark, and Sweden also publicly acknowledged their recognition. A delegation is formally sent to Great Britain to negotiate a peace. The World War is almost over.